Gotta hand it to you, Pablo.
This is standard.
Yeah, what's good, you guys? Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a drill beat. I'm going to split this video into mixing and the drum arrangement as well. I'm going to start off with drums, and the time codes will be in the comments down below, so if you want to skip to the mixing part, then go ahead. So I started with a melody given to me by Joe Stanley. Melody is very simple. I added a low pass on this just to give it a bit more variation in the intro. This melody was 33 bars and I just cut it up into 4 sections. Then we have the drums, so this is a rim. Very simple, and a third and a fourth beat, and that's just repeating. Then we have the hi-hats, again very simple. So these are on skipping every 2/4, just like this, and then it's just these 3 hats repeating over and over. You have ghost notes here. These are very low velocity just to give a bit more bounce, and then we have a reverse hat pattern just to give it more kind of variation to it as well. So that's every 2 bars. This is very repetitive, very simple. We have the 808. Very simple. Just a little bit of variation at the end there. Then we have the kick. This just repeats, again very simple, very repetitive. We have a stomp. Some percussion. This one pans from left to right every 2 bars. Then we have a rim shot that pans. So this is just repeating as well. A gunshot with decay on it. So this one just going down every time it hits, gives it a bit of a decaying feel. And a classic, just a crash every 4 bars. In the intro, I just have my tags.
Gotta hand it to you, Pablo.
This is standard.
I have a drum fill and a reverse kick. So to reverse a kick, you literally just press the reverse button here. I've cut off a bit of it, just this bit here, so that it comes in quite smoothly. I have also made an automation clip just so it sounds a little bit more smoother when it comes in. To make an automation clip, you just press automate volume and then it will come up with just a little clip that you can edit. I have this sound effect here, very simple. That one is from my drum kit, but originally you can find something similar in MK the Plugs drum kit. I have edited this to fit my kind of style, so it's a little bit different. And that's pretty much it really. I've also added a pad. That one's again very simple. This is from Expand, the Fatboy preset. Very simple. And that's really pretty much it for the beat. So I have these transitions every 9 bars. I have a dip here with just the 808. I have another gap here where the kick comes in again, and this would be the verse section, and this is the hook section. So this kind of splits up a little bit. Here it's very simple. I remove the kick normally in my verses and only leave them every 2 bars. so that kind of makes it a bit more spacious. Here everything's cut off up until the second rim shot, so once the second rim hits it, all the drums come back again. So this is just again to give the artist a bit more pockets to work with, and here everything cuts off for half a beat, just so that the artist can get prepared for the bridge. This could be cut off, but normally I leave it just if an artist wants to fill it up. And again, it has the high pass effect on it. And everything comes back, and then it repeats 2 more times, and this would be the outro here, the last third verse. Normally the third verses aren't used anymore, so I just leave that as an outro. Sometimes I'll automate them so that it fades out, but normally I just leave it like that, and then obviously an artist can do that if they want to. With regards to mixing, it's very simple. So in my master, all I have is a soft clipper that's 0 threshold, and I left this post knob at 80% like it was. So this just cuts off all the peaks from my drums and makes them sound a bit better, squashed together, compressed. I have fat filter Saturn, so that has a mastering preset on it called Magic Mastering. So again, that's kind of like a compressor and also saturates the sound a bit more. I'll show you an example. So this is how it sounds without it, and when you turn it on, it sounds a bit better. Compresses it and sort of brings out everything that's quieter, and everything that's a bit too loud, it kind of cuts it down again, just like the soft clipper. So this is how it sounds without the mastering. So it just brings everything together, makes it sound a bit better. With my melody, very simple. I've cut out the low end of the melody, so just to remove everything that would clash with the bass. I've added reverb. I left it as it is. Normally I just mix it, so I don't even touch any of the knobs unless I'm working with vocals. And then this is on 30%. And I've also cut out some of the low end just so it doesn't clash with the bass. I have an instance of Portal with Tranquility Garden from this folder here. This is on 30% as well. This is not needed, I just like to add it because it gives a bit of a weirder effect on the melody. So if you can hear that, it's very subtle, and it just kind of gives it a bit more width. And then Waves S1 Imager, I really like this plugin. It just separates the sound a little bit more, and I like how stereo sounds in general. So this is at 1.5, and on mono input it's a little bit asymmetrical, you can see here on 10 and then negative 5.0. This is just so it evens out, because if it was on 0, the left for some reason is a little bit higher, so I just kind of even it out like this by making it asymmetrical. This is it for the melody. Again, with melodies I suggest you just cut down the low end and add a little bit of texture to it to give it some space. Rim shot has nothing on it, just leveled. Hi-hats, they have a little bit of delay on them, tiny bit, just 10%. The settings are just like this, so I only touch these cut in time knobs and switched it to ping pong, so it gives it a bit of an effect going from left ear to the right ear. I have a Panamatic on the hi-hats. This is quite often used in drill beats. Sometimes people will randomize them in the actual drum section. So if I go here, you can do Alt R and just switch this, and that will automate them. That will make them pan from left to right. However, I don't like to do it this way because it becomes too predictable. With Panamatic, it's sort of randomize it every time. These are the knobs that I use normally, and I left it on 100% here. With my 808, again, it's very simple. All I do is just cut out 20 Hz from it, and I cut out about 5,000 kilohertz from the high end, just to give it a bit more subby feel. I cut off the 20 hertz so that there's not mud in this area, because you can't hear anything below 20 hertz. So there's no point of it being there, but it makes you feel like there's loads of mud in this section here. And I'll boost it for about 4 decibels, 3.8 decibels at 60 hertz section. So this is the area where there's most of the bass, most of the punch that you get in your beats. So I suggest you boost this a little bit if you want it to be distorted. With my kick, nothing again. Stomps, nothing. And my percussion, so all my percussion sounds have been cut from the low. So 220 hertz cut here, 220 here, 171 on the rim shot, and then some gunshot. The gunshot was also cut. Same with the crash. So this is again just so it doesn't clash with the bass, because every little detail might ruin your bass. So I like to cut everything out, and this literally takes me like 10 seconds while I put the sound in the playlist. So the tags, again, this one, the Joe's tag, I cut out a bit of the low end from it so it doesn't clash with the intro. On my tag it just has a delay and reverb preset, something I would use for vocals. And then the expand, the pad was also cut from 220 hertz. And that's pretty much it for mixing and the beat, really. All I wanted to say is that the reason why you might struggle to mix your beats is because you're not using the right sounds. So that's what happens to beginners often. You just start downloading sounds from Reddit and kind of trying to figure it out. Trying to figure out what's better to use, but in reality it takes a while for you to get a good library. Most of these sounds are from Reddit. However, I had to sort through about 100 drum kits just to find these sounds that can be used together. And it took me about 1.5 years to really get my sound collection where it is at the moment. And this is pretty much it for the beat, really. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any comments, then please leave them below. If you have any questions, also leave them down below, and I will try to answer to all of them. And if you have any videos that you want me to make, I will do that as soon as I can. And I'll just let the beat play out, and you can hear how the mix turned out and how the actual beat came out as well. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next one.
Gotta hand it to you, Pablo.
This